This is Dr.RED Panda.
Embarrassment might be the most uniquely human emotion on Earth. Animals feel fear, they feel anger, they feel pain. But embarrassment? That strange moment when your face turns red, your heart races, and you suddenly want to disappear. It can happen because of something tiny, a wrong word, a small mistake, or a room full of people looking at you. And yet, this emotion can feel incredibly powerful. So here's the question. If embarrassment doesn't protect your body, and most animals don't seem to experience it at all, why did humans evolve it? I'm Dr. Panda, and today, we're going to uncover the hidden purpose of one of the strangest emotions humans have. The strange emotion only humans have. Imagine you're walking into a crowded room. For a moment, nothing seems unusual. People are talking, laughing, moving around. Then suddenly something small happens. You trip slightly on the floor, or you realize you just called someone by the wrong name. Nothing serious happened. Nobody was hurt. And yet, in that moment, something inside your body changes instantly. Your face becomes warm. Your heart beats a little faster. You suddenly become very aware of everyone around you. You avoid eye contact. You might laugh awkwardly. Sometimes you even try to leave the situation as quickly as possible. Most people know this feeling very well. We call it embarrassment. It's one of the most common human emotions, and it appears in surprisingly ordinary situations. A small social mistake, a misunderstanding, a moment of unwanted attention. These are often enough to trigger it. But if you pause and think about it carefully, embarrassment is actually a very strange emotion. Many emotions clearly serve a survival purpose. Fear helps us respond to danger. Pain warns us when our bodies are injured. Disgust keeps us away from spoiled food or disease. Those emotions make obvious evolutionary sense. They protect us from real physical threats. Embarrassment is different. You can feel deeply embarrassed even when nothing dangerous has happened at all. No predator is chasing you. Your body isn't injured. Your life is not in immediate danger, and yet the reaction can feel surprisingly intense. In some situations, people report that embarrassment can feel almost unbearable. The instinct to hide, to escape, or to pretend nothing happened can become extremely strong. Why would the human mind create such a powerful emotional response for something so minor? The mystery becomes even more interesting when we look at the rest of the animal kingdom. Animals certainly experience emotions. Dogs feel excitement and fear. Many mammals show signs of affection or anger. Even primates demonstrate complex social behavior. But embarrassment appears to be something else entirely. When a dog slips on the floor, it doesn't seem ashamed of the mistake. A cat that misses a jump simply walks away. Even chimpanzees, our closest evolutionary relatives, don't show the distinctive signs humans display when they feel socially awkward. And humans have a very distinctive sign: blushing. When a person becomes embarrassed, tiny blood vessels in the face suddenly widen, sending more blood to the skin. The result is the familiar redness that spreads across the cheeks. Blushing is remarkably rare among animals. In fact, some scientists have described it as one of the most uniquely human expressions of emotion. Which raises an important question. If embarrassment is uncomfortable, if it makes us feel exposed, and if other animals don't seem to experience it in the same way, then why did humans evolve this emotion at all? Why would natural selection favor a reaction that makes us feel so painfully self-conscious? To answer that question, we have to look far back into human history. Long before cities, long before governments, when survival depended almost entirely on something we rarely think about today: other people. The social survival system hidden in our brain. To understand embarrassment, we have to imagine a very different world. Not the modern world of cities, smartphones, and millions of strangers, but the world our ancestors lived in for most of human history. For tens of thousands of years, humans survived in small groups, usually no more than a few dozen people. These groups were not just communities. They were lifelines. Your group hunted together, shared food, protected each other from predators. And if something went wrong, if you were injured, sick, or unable to find food, you depended entirely on those people to help you survive. Being part of the group wasn't just important. It was everything. Because outside the group, survival became almost impossible. A person alone on the prehistoric landscape had little protection, limited resources, and almost no chance of raising children successfully. In many ways, being rejected by your group could be as dangerous as facing a predator. And this is where embarrassment begins to make sense. Human beings didn't evolve simply to survive as individuals. We evolved to survive within social groups. That meant our brains developed extremely sensitive systems for monitoring social behavior. Every interaction mattered. Did you offend someone? Did you violate a social rule? Did you behave in a way that might make others distrust you? If the answer was yes, your standing in the group could suffer. And once your reputation began to fall, something dangerous could happen. People might stop trusting you, helping you, or cooperating with you. From an evolutionary perspective, that was a serious threat. So the human brain developed a powerful emotional warning system. Embarrassment. Embarrassment is not really about the mistake itself. Dropping a tool or saying the wrong word isn't dangerous. What matters is what other people think about that mistake. When we feel embarrassed, our brains are reacting to a social signal. Others are watching. That's why embarrassment usually appears in public situations. You rarely feel embarrassed when you're alone. But when other people are present, especially people whose opinions matter, the emotion becomes much stronger. Psychologists have noticed something fascinating about the physical reactions that accompany embarrassment. When people feel embarrassed, they often blush, look away, smile awkwardly, or cover their face. At first glance, these behaviors might seem like attempts to hide. But in reality, they may serve the opposite purpose. They are signals. Signals that communicate something important to the people around us. Essentially, they say, "I know something awkward just happened. I recognize the mistake. I'm not a threat to the group." This kind of signal can actually repair social situations surprisingly quickly. When someone shows embarrassment after making a mistake, others often become more forgiving. The awkward moment passes. Trust is restored. But imagine a different scenario. Imagine someone makes a social mistake and shows absolutely no embarrassment. No apology, no acknowledgement, no discomfort. People around them may interpret that behavior very differently. Instead of thinking that was just an accident, they might begin to think something else. This person doesn't respect the rules. This person might not care about the group. And suddenly, a small mistake becomes something more serious. From this perspective, embarrassment begins to look very different. It's not just an uncomfortable emotion. It's a social survival system, a way for human beings to constantly monitor how they are perceived by others, and quickly repair mistakes before they damage trust. But this raises another intriguing question. If embarrassment helps maintain social harmony, if it quietly encourages people to follow social norms, then how much of our everyday behavior is actually shaped by this invisible emotion? And could it be that embarrassment, something we usually try to avoid, is actually one of the forces holding human society together? The emotion that quietly controls your life. Now step back for a moment and think about how often embarrassment shapes your decisions. Not just the obvious moments like tripping in public or saying the wrong thing, but the quieter ones. The times you chose not to raise your hand. The times you stayed silent even though you disagreed. The times you didn't try something new because you imagined how people might react if you failed. Embarrassment doesn't just appear after a social mistake. Very often, it appears before one. Your brain runs a small simulation. What will people think? And sometimes that tiny prediction is enough to change your behavior. You dress a certain way because it feels socially safe. You laugh at jokes you don't actually find funny. You follow rules that no one ever explicitly explained. Most of the time, you don't even notice it happening. But in a strange way, embarrassment acts like an invisible guide, quietly steering human behavior toward what a group considers acceptable. And that raises a deeper question. If embarrassment evolved to keep groups stable, then how much of what we call being ourselves is actually shaped by the fear of standing out. Think about it. Throughout history, some of the biggest changes in society came from people who were willing to risk embarrassment. Scientists who proposed ideas everyone mocked. Artists whose work looked strange at first. Writers who questioned the rules everyone else followed. In their time, many of those people were seen as unusual or even ridiculous. But they moved forward anyway, which suggests something interesting. Embarrassment helps society stay stable. But ignoring embarrassment, at least sometimes, is how society moves forward. So perhaps the real question isn't whether embarrassment is good or bad. It's something more personal. How often does embarrassment stop you from doing something you actually want to do? How many ideas stay inside people's heads because the risk of looking foolish feels too high? And if embarrassment really is a system designed to keep us aligned with the group, then maybe the moments when we feel it most strongly are also the moments when we're standing closest to the edge of something new. So here's the question I want to leave you with. Think about the last time you felt truly embarrassed. Did it protect you from making a mistake? Or did it stop you from being the person you wanted to be? Let me know what you think in the comments. Because sometimes the most uncomfortable emotions reveal the most interesting truths about being human. And that's a wrap for this episode of the video. I'm DR.RED Panda. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Until next time, take care.